Let's bring in Fox News contributor and constitutional law expert Jonathan Turley. So we had a whole day of coverage and outrage from both sides, and then you wake up this morning and you try to sort it all out. How do you see this right now? I feel like the Democrats might have just given the Republicans the opening they needed to find a way to unify.
Well, the politics is baffling. I mean, first of all, the politics directed at the court is baffling. You know, Justice Breyer came out and made a perfectly reasonable statement about the dangers of packing the court, and the left launched a campaign to try to force him to resign, saying that his legacy is in danger, with actual billboards in Washington. How do you think that's going to play with Breyer, who just told you he wants to protect the integrity of the court? Is that same guy going to say, oh, okay, I'll just resign because you have billboards telling me to do so? None of this really tracks with reality. The public has been against packing the court in overwhelming numbers. That has never changed. The justices have opposed this. So the thing that's driving this is the most extreme elements in our politics. But the real disturbing aspect of this was not that people were going to try to do this end run on the Supreme Court. It's the absence of leadership from President Biden. This is a test of leadership, and he's failing it. I mean, he has to be able to summon the courage to face the most extreme elements of his party. Yeah, we can talk about reforming the court, even a long-term expansion plan, but this is raw packing. This should not be something that's a difficult call for a president to make. He needs to walk out and say, we will protect this institution. We're not going to dump 4 justices in an institution to give us a 1-vote margin.
Yeah, you talked about the Justice Breyer, of course, the progressives going after him. The Wall Street Journal writes that this really isn't as much about court packing, and good to see you, by the way, Professor, as it is about intimidation. And they write the following, quoting here, whatever happens, the justices have received their warning. Bend your judgment politically, or we will politicize your court. The damage could be irreparable. The intimidation game is being played once again with profound costs for the Constitution and our freedom. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a shame that that sentiment hasn't been voiced by Democrats, who often talk about constitutional values. What's odd is, you know, I testified in the Gorsuch confirmation hearing, and one of the things that the senators really hammered away from the Democratic side is it's awful to have these 5 conservatives always voting together. And one of the things I said at the time was, well, aren't you ignoring those 4 justices that are also voting together? It's a 5-4 split, but the problem is not the 4 liberal justices voting together, it's the 5 conservatives. And the fact is that the new Trump appointees have actually voted with the left of the court. More than the opposite is true. That is, they've shown more flexibility in joining their more liberal colleagues on critical cases. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh were the deciding vote on major cases. And so many of these senators were wrong about people like Justice Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. But that doesn't change the narrative because it's detached from reality.
Can I ask you one last question? You follow the court, you might even know some of these associate justices or even the Chief Justice. What about Breyer? Do you think, I mean, he's in his 80s, maybe he wants to retire, but now at this point, do you think that he is more likely or less likely to retire during this president's first 2 years in office?
Well, first of all, Justice Breyer remains really quite sharp, and so did Justice Ginsburg. You know, while they were older and they had physical issues, mentally they were as sharp as they ever have been. They write, you know, really profound opinions. You can disagree with them. I would think that this would, if anything, encourage him to stay on the court. For him to knuckle under to this type of pressure would be viewed as sort of yielding to the mob. And that's what's so baffling about this campaign.
Very interesting. Thank you so much, Jonathan. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Professor.